Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been quite a while, but don't worry, I'm finally getting this out, so yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. I hope you guys. What do you mean you can't come this weekend? The booming voice on the other side of your phone was easily heard to everyone in the room, the sound making you wince as you let out a sigh, guilt rising to your chest. Every month or so, you and your boyfriend would meet up for a weekend due to the long distance relationship you had been put in. While he was off working, trying to build his brand as a hero, you had left for your dream school that happened to be 2 hours away. Of course, he would never step in the way of you following that dream, just as he wouldn't step in the way of his own. But he also refused to cut the relationship off for that matter. It had been decided you would both visit every month until you could graduate and move back with him. Little known to you both, your school's rigorous program kept harsh due dates on your schedule, especially as the semester came to an end, causing you to cancel most of your monthly meetups. This was the fourth time you had to call your boyfriend and give him the dreaded news that you couldn't come visit, and it only kept getting harder and harder. I'm sorry. I wish there was another way, you said sadly through the phone. I tried to convince my professor to extend my final project date, but with exams in less than 4 weeks, there's no way for her to push it back. Only a grieved sigh was returned to your attempt at an explanation, the sound making you bite your lip as you squeezed your eyes shut in an attempt to not let your tears fall to your cheeks. I really am sorry, Katuki. I miss you so much. You breathed out, a slight hiccup in your voice as you felt the hot tears threaten to spill from your lashes. I would do just about anything to see you again. Bakugou wasn't an idiot. He could practically hear the wet tears falling down your cheeks as you tried to hide your pain over the phone. The ash blonde would honestly be more pissed if you tried to brush off your grades just to see him. You genuinely fought for your place in the school. The acceptance rate was wrongfully low, and the tuition price wasn't much better. Not to his surprise, you worked hard enough to not only get in, but get a full riding scholarship so you could make your dream a reality. So to hear you now so defeated just because you couldn't visit him, it was wrong. Don't think too hard about it, idiot. I understand, Bakugou said, much softer this time, though his voice was still laced with frustration. As long as you come see me after your crappy exams. The change of your tone the change of tone had your heart melting, a small smile creeping on your face. I don't know. I think we should spend the holidays here in my dorm. If you say your cramped dorm room, I will personally mail an explosion there so that the entire building is demolished, the ash blonde growled, though he had a stupid smirk on his face at the sound of your giggles bubbling on the other side of the phone. You pay a mortgage to go there, and they have you sleeping in a bathroom stall. Biting your lip, you let out one final giggle before letting your finger twirl around the edge of your sweater. I'm joking, baby. I promise I'll be the first student out of that classroom. Darn straight you will, Bakugou replied, a soft smile on his face as he looked out the window of his apartment. Good luck with your exams, Angel. Immediately, you moved the sleeve of your sweater above your lips to hide the growing smile on your face, the familiar nickname bringing a rosy flush to your cheeks. Thanks, Suki. Good luck wiping the floor with those villains. Your smile only grew when you heard Bakugou's boyish laugh on the other side of the line, before you both hung up. Bakugou already hated this place, and he had only taken roughly 10 steps on the campus. Everything about this university screamed you. The rich architecture and stunning greenery was enough to even impress the ash blonde. It's like he walked into Olympus. Hundreds of students were zooming around, all surprisingly offering a greeting or smile. Everyone here was so cheerful, even though the aura of the school was clearly uptight and stressful. Shuffling down the cobblestone path to look for any sort of directory, Bakugou's body froze when he heard an all too familiar cry with those dreaded words he was doomed to hear everywhere he went. Is that ground zero? Dread flowed through Bakugou's body as thick boots stopped in their tracks. The sound of footsteps scampering over to him made every hair on his body rise as a annoyed grumble rumbled in his chest. Doomed for lion, Bakugou grumbled under his breath, his sharp crimson eyes glaring up to the herd of students that surrounded him. cameras already out and ready to fire. All freaking angel face. The Ash Blonde should have known better than to come to your campus without an undercover uniform. The fact that he was wearing his hero uniform boots not helping the case either. Bakugou had just been so eager to get here. After getting off the phone with you and remembering the pained tone of your voice, he couldn't not come as soon as possible. You had at least 1 week at this hellhole, and Bakugou would be danged if you ruined it over the massive stress you were carrying on your shoulders. The young hero's agency was far from pleased when they heard he would be under the radar for a full week, but they weren't in any position to tell him no. At this point, Bakugou ran that agency. They depended on him more than he did ever since his popularity boomed. In less than a year, he had been the first teenager to ever be in the top 15, proving to be the youngest successful pro hero in history. Did this inflate his ego? Of course. Did he care? Not a chance. And luckily he knew a certain doll that loved his massively large ego. Interrupting his thoughts, the Ash Blonde unintentionally flared his teeth when he felt hands grasping at his bare arms, multiple voices ringing in his ears all at once. Can you sign this shirt with me? Get a selfie with me, Ground Zero. Are you assigned to work for this college? I don't have a pen. Can you just set an explosion off my arm? Bakugou let out a growl of annoyance and a bit of disturbance at the strange demands he was receiving. Didn't these students have work to do or something? Electing to ignore the cries and pleads, the Ash Blonde flickered his ruby eyes above the crowd in hopes of finding that directory. Lore knew he couldn't ask any of these idiots for direction. When all his eyes fell on with elegant architecture and properly trimmed shrubbery, the Ash Blonde squeezed his eyes shut in annoyance before glaring down to the crowd. I'll sign all of your dang crap later, but I have a mission first. Bakugou barked, effectively silencing the entire group as they awaited his words. Any of you know where the heck the Dying Wing is? Bakugou regretted his idea when an uproar of students began shouting out different answers. Rubbing his head, he let out another loud yell to silence them. Right there, where is it? The tall boy in the front blinked for a moment when the pro pointed to him, before quickly pointing over to the second building in the middle. Are you looking for someone? A girl questioned from the back, causing Bakugou to look over to her direction. YN. A few people in the crowd perked up at this, obviously recognizing your name. I know YN, a girl shouted, shoving her way to the front before pointing over to a stone pathway. I saw her walk over there a few minutes ago with her laptop. I bet she's finishing up her sketches for exams. Flicking his crimson eyes from the path to the girl, he gave a curt nod of gratitude before shoving past the students, ignoring their obnoxious goodbyes and pleas to come back soon. As annoying as this place was, it sure was beautiful. The stone path shortly had turned into gravel as he got deeper into the trail, the multiple sculptures he had passed beginning to disappear as the atmosphere began to look more botanical. While he couldn't help but admit the path was fairly neat, he was also growing fairly annoyed. He just wanted to see you already so he could snatch you up in his arms and never let you go. Tucking over a short stone arch that was wrapped in a messy vine of pale blue flowers, the ash blonde's dream finally came true as he saw your rugged form lying down on a blanket in front of what looked to be a koi pond. Just as he was about to walk over to you, he paused when he heard a sharp whine escape your lips. Come on, stupid brain. Think! What else can I add to make it abstract? You cried, tugging at the loose strands of your hair that already seemed to be falling out of its place in your bun. Bakugou chuckled quietly to himself as your internal rant merged into a slurred new language of huffs and groans. You know, I was nervous I wouldn't be able to find you, Bakugou spoke up, causing your head to jerk up before you whipped your body around to lock eyes with the ash blonde. But as soon as I heard your annoying whine, I knew my girl was close. Katuki! Ignoring the harsh insult Bakugou threw at you, your eyes lit up upon seeing your boyfriend. Letting out a confused laugh, you quickly stumbled up from your blanket and ran to him. Bakugou stumbled back a bit from your sudden attack, but was able to catch you eventually, lifting your form into his arms as he spun you around with the added momentum you gave him. What are you doing here? You said breathlessly, your lips in the most beautiful smile he had ever seen. Placing a gentle kiss on your lips, The ash blonde plopped you back down on your feet while keeping his arms tight around your waist. I knew you were probably stressing the frick out on your last week of exams, and by what I just heard earlier, I was correct, per usual. Rolling your eyes at his cocky behavior, you placed another kiss on his lips before nodding for him to continue on. Well, I couldn't just let my girl bomb all her exams because she missed his pretty face so much, Bakugo said with a grin, loving how your lips tried to form into an annoyed pout, but simply filled with the massive smile on your face. So I decided to stay down here for the week. Letting out a few more giggles as the ash blonde attacked your face with more kisses, you squeezed your arms around his neck tightly before looking back up at him. What about your hero agency? Aren't they going to be mad that you're missing a full week? Bakugo scoffed at your words, his crimson eyes cockily staring down at you as a smirk flashed across his lips. To heck with that crappy agency. They couldn't fire me even if they wanted to. Honestly, if I said I was leaving, I would have all those idiots on their hands and knees. You couldn't help but snort before bursting into laughter as you placed yet another kiss on his lips, before running your fingers through his ash blonde locks playfully. That's my cocky little crap. Grinning excitedly down to you, the ash blonde lifted you back off your feet again, causing your laughter to fill the air once more as he swung you around before stumbling backwards, his back falling against the smooth grass while you landed on top of him with a grin. Walk much? You questioned cheekily, causing him to narrow his eyes as he stole a kiss from you, most likely to shut you up. It was moments like these that reminded you why you both did what you did. The endless nights you craved his touch while you studied for yet another quiz. The cool mornings Bakugo had to work out alone instead of having you attempt to stretch next to him in the lush grass. All of those moments of loneliness were all pushed aside in just a few minutes you spent together, reminding one another that this was genuine raw love. It was going to last no matter what wall attempted to separate you both. Pulling away softly, you kept your face close to his own, both of your eyes locked on each other as each of your breaths collided with each other's lips. I missed you so much, Lion, Bakugo muttered just loud enough for you to hear, his hands running down the small of your back. Inhaling deeply, you kept your fingers gliding through his hair as you looked down to him lovingly. I did too, Katuki, more than you will ever know. The ash blonde smiled, peppering your face with warm kisses until they began to slow at the crook of your neck. Your eyes began to narrow as you felt his palms begin to wander beyond the depths of your back. You look sexy in these leggings, by the way, Bakugo said with a mischievous grin. Closing your eyes, he placed a warm kiss on his cheek before resting your head on his chest. And there you go, ruining the moment again. Opening his mouth to rebuttal, both of you came to silence when the all too familiar sound of stampeding feet were heard. What on earth is that? You asked softly, sitting up from his chest as the sound grew louder and louder. Bakugo let out a growl as he sat up, carefully holding on to you so you didn't slide off him. Your classmates forgot to dress in the cover so they went crazy. And the news spread, you finished with a gulp, sharing an annoyed yet nervous expression with your boyfriend before an idea popped in your head. Scrambling off Bakugo's lap, the ash blonde watched as you quickly grabbed your blanket and laptop before yanking him off his feet. The heck are we going? Looking looking back to Bakugo, you smiled, grabbing his hand and yanking him down another unmarked trail. I know this little secret trail back to the campus. That way we can sneak to my dorm, hopefully unnoticed. Bakugo let out a groan, though he had a grin on his face as he ran beside you with his fingers interlaced with your own. Not the freaking bathroom stall dorm you got. I will throw your butt in the pond and leave you to fend for yourself, mister, you growled with no threat behind your words, your head whipping back with a challenging stare. Just you test me, Suki. The ash blonde simply gave you his favorite expression finger, causing you to giggle as you both ran down the uneven trail. Bakugo had only been with you for 10 minutes and chaos already seemed to be unfolding, but much to his surprise he didn't mind. Quite frankly, he actually liked it. It felt like the good old days when you both were at UA, just goofing around and living in the light-hearted chaos you both grew to love. But if there was one thing Bakugo knew back at UA and sure knew now, He never wanted to stop living in the chaos with you.